talk to you, knowing that you have their full attention, knowing that you are the most important thing to me at this moment, and that you are the most, is that not true? Tell me if that's not true for anybody here. Is anybody here ever feeling like the most important thing is that you want to be, that you want that I am here for you, Yoni, right? Am I right? Yeah, you know that my whole thought was put together as I was thinking about you in particular. And I'm going to tell you the truth, as I'm looking around the room, usually I used to say, oh my gosh, I don't know anybody here, right, Robert? Because I'm not Russian, I'm not Russian, my parents are Holocaust survivors, but I fell in love with the Russians, I love all of you. I'm looking around the room, and I think I know almost everybody here, except for Boris and Esther. I just met them now. But other than that, I think I know almost everybody. So here's what I'm thinking about. First of all, this is gorgeous. Rebecca, you are awesome, amazing. Now, really, the people who are most awesome are the people that are here. So what's the story? You're here every single Thursday night. I've never been invited to be here. Like, why is that? I want to be here every Thursday night. Will you invite me?
You could definitely.
I want to be here every Thursday night. If I'm not going to be here every Thursday night, then I want to come to my house on Thursday night. I do. I mean, I'm looking around the room, and everyone here is absolutely gorgeous. You are gorgeous, gorgeous. Wow, gorgeous. Wow, gorgeous, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, so I was thinking, live in love, I don't even know what that means. Like, what does that mean? We all want to live in love. Does that mean that you have to have a partner to live in love? No, I don't think so. I think love can be just a feeling you have. It doesn't have to be from a partner. It doesn't have to be from the person that you're married to or your girlfriend. To tell you the truth, once you get into a relationship, it's harder, it's much more difficult to be in love because there are so many parts of a relationship that are so incredibly difficult that it's almost easier to have love from somebody that you already know because they're not coming with all of the baggage. They don't have all that stuff about you that, like that families have, right? Regular people are with just you, right? How easy is it to schmooze with your friend? How easy is it to say to your friend, wow, you're such a great friend. I really love you. What's more difficult? What's more difficult? Being with friends or being with family? Let's be honest. Think about it. I want you to all think about it for a minute, right? We all love our families, right? We love our families, but isn't it so much easier to be with your friends and to know I'm just having a good time, I'm just with my friends, right? Because what happens when you're with your family? There's a lot of stuff. You feel obligation, you feel responsibility, you feel like you have to be good. They're your family. You owe them. You owe your parents. Am I right or wrong? Am I right?
Yeah.
If I'm right, put up your hands.
Yes.
I think everybody raised their hands. So we all agree that we love our families. We love them. We want them to be happy. We want them to have a good life. We want them to have a lot of money. We want them to have a lot of happiness, right? We want them to have it. But if I have a choice of hanging out with my friends or hanging out with my family, I think I'd rather hang out with my friends because it's easy, it's fun, I can laugh with them. True, right? So what was I thinking about as I was coming here? I have to talk about living in love. And I'm thinking, what are we all doing next week? Next week, on Thursday night, we are all going to be celebrating the wonderful, amazing holiday of Passover, Pesach, right? We're all, and we're going to be with our wonderful, amazing families, right? So put your hand up if you're going to be with your family for Pesach. Everybody. Okay, so I thought, wow, what a great idea. Let's talk about living in love with our families on Pesach. So how does that sound? Does it sound right? Okay, good. Can we do that? Living in love with our family. Rabbi Katzin, do I have your permission? Can we talk about living in love with our family? Because really, I can talk about living in love regularly, but we can do that anytime. But now, next week, Thursday night, I don't want to make everybody nervous. Friday night. Next week, thank you, Rabbi.
Thursday night, we're going to be checking comments.
Thursday night, you're going to be checking comments, but you're not going to be with your family yet. But Friday night, how many people are going to be with their families Friday night by a show of hands? Right? I don't think on Friday night we'll be at Dr. Faye's house celebrating our Friday nights and hanging out. We're going to be with our families, right?
Unless Dr. Faye's family.
Yeah, I have family. But I have a different kind of family. The family, we're all going home to our real families. So I want to talk about living in love with our families. It's a real conversation. Okay, ready? So what I did is I was thinking that we're celebrating Passover, and Passover is Pesach, right? That's what we call it, Pesach. For a long time, which I like to get my point across. Like I want you to leave with a message. So with my message, what I did is I took the word Pesach, P-E-S-A-C-H, right? Pesach, and I created a living in love program around Pesach. P-E-S-A-C-H. Good? You want to hear it? Yeah. Okay. How do you live in love on Pesach? How do you do it? So P, let's start with the P. What's the first thing you need to know about when you are sitting there, arriving to see your family, and it's going to be amazing, right? And you're thinking, how am I going to survive? It's scary. Because it is scary. Remember, when you go back to your families, I have found that even when people are 35 years old, 40 years old, and they're married, let's get this, and they come home with 5 children for the Pesach Seder. You're married and you come home. God bless all of you. Everybody should be in that situation soon. Amen. Be married with children and all that. Do you know what happens to people when they go home to their homes on Pesach, married with children, and they're ready? Big businessmen. They make a lot of money. I'll tell you, my husband, Shlomo, has a van of Yaakov Zakheim, right? Millionaire. Made it great, made a lot of money, owned every ambulance company in New York, right? Did great, had airplanes, jets, yachts, everything, right? And 5 children, a beautiful family, a great wife, right? Do you know that when he walked into his mommy's house on Pesach, right? My husband, this accomplished businessman, people who they thought, wow, he became a 5-year-old again. As soon as mommy was there and daddy was there, and Abba and Ima of Shlomo, who was an amazing person, he was like the most amazing person. But when it came to going home to his mother and father, he reverted back to being a little kid. He only wanted to eat his mother's filter fish. He didn't want to eat anything but all the things that he ate as a child. So what happens? We go back home, right? And we want to be there, right? But as soon as we get there, right? Not Shlomo, because he was perfect, but the rest of us, as soon as we get there, what happens? All of a sudden, we revert back to being a child, right? And that person who, if I see Bertha, right, I say, "Hi, Bertha, I'm so happy to see you. I'm sorry, I still drink. You are amazing." Right? But when we go back to our families, what happens? Right? We're so comfortable with them that do we walk in and have this big smile? Do we have that air of positivity? It's so great to see you, Mom. Oh, bro, so great to see you. No, they're our family. So what do? You walk in with your suitcase, you sit down at the table, and you become back to the same person that you are. You go back to being Igor and Esther, and you're just there because that's where you grew up. So my first P is what about going back to family? How do you live in love with your family? It's all about positivity. When you walk into that door, when you see your mother and father, before you're heading to the Pesach Seder, when you see your mother and father and your brothers and your sisters, who maybe you're not even speaking to your sister because you're so angry at her about something, or you're not speaking to your brother, it doesn't matter. Forget all that. When you walk in the door, have that huge positivity. Because you know what? Your energy of positivity will create the whole energy of what Pesach is about. And is that true? Or like some of you might be saying, oh, but I'm not spending Pesach with my parents. Wherever you are, keep in mind that your positivity, it is extremely contagious. The second somebody sees you with a smile, they will be smiling. It is impossible, I'm telling you right now, for you to go over to somebody and say, "Hi, I'm so happy to look at it." See? It's science. It's automatically, it's contagious. There was a woman named Rebbetzin Young-Rice. I don't know how many of you knew her. She was a Holocaust survivor who went through a lot. She always smiled, always. So people used to go over to her. They used to say, "Oh, come on, Rebbetzin Young-Rice. That smile, is that pasted on your face? Because it's not possible that you could be smiling all the time." She said, "You know what? Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I don't have a smile. But the second I look at you and you're smiling at me, there you go." You didn't think you'd get it, right? It's contagious. The second I look at you and you're smiling at me, I can't help but smile. So it's automatic. So P is about positivity. Living a loving life. You're not going to have a loving life without positivity. It's just not going to happen. So that's my P. Okay. E, living in love. What do you need for E? For those of you who have heard me before, what is it? It's about expectations, right? If you're going to you're going on a blind date, right? And you haven't met the girl, or you haven't met the guy, and you haven't seen them on Facebook, you haven't seen them on Instagram, you haven't seen their picture, right? If you're going to walk in and expect to see a 5'7" model, stunning, gorgeous, right? And you walk in and you find a 5'5" blonde, pretty girl, what happens? You are expecting a model. Your expectations were up here. You're going to be very, very disappointed. She's pretty, she's nice, but you have her head, this 5'7" gorgeous model, right? That is automatically true in life. If your expectations about a business deal are very, very high, you're going to a business meeting and you're expecting to have a fabulous meeting, you're going to make $1 million. Well, guess what? You're going to be very disappointed. But if you walk on a date and you're going on the date and you're expecting, just a girl, she was nice on the phone, nice to talk to, I'm not expecting her to be gorgeous. Then you walk in and whoa, there's this gorgeous girl standing over there. How happy are you? Your expectations were not very high, but there is this, like you gorgeous girl that I'm looking at right now. You, and you, and you, stunning, and you, and you, and you. If your expectations of the girl are very high, you will be disappointed. But if your expectations of wherever you're walking into are not that high, what are you going to be? You're going to be super. I walked in here tonight expecting 5 people. Honest to God. I thought 5 people would. Look, there's more than 5 people here. So what? My expectations were so low, and I'm like so excited to be here because there are so many of you here, and you all look so interested in what I'm saying, which is so incredibly amazing. So if I would have come in like with expectations of, oh wow, I'm a great speaker, there's going to be 1,000 people there, I would be very disappointed that there's only 100 people here. And if I thought, oh wow, I'm a great speaker, everybody's going to listen, I would be so disappointed. But I didn't think, I thought you're all going to sit at the table, I'll just say hi, I'll say hi to Rabbi Katzin, I'll say hi to Rebecca, I'll say hi to Bertha, and then I'm going to leave. But instead, my expectations were low, and here I am. And like you're engaged. How happy am I? Right? So my second thing is, it's about expectations. Don't expect, if we're talking about Pesach, don't expect to see this fabulous, amazing, fabulous time. Because it's challenging sitting with how many are going to be with family? Put your hands up again. If you're going to be with family, raise your hands up high. Right. Family? We're not sure. Okay, but this whole group is all family. So you are going to be with family. If your expectations that all of a sudden everything is going to be awesome and your parents are going to say, wow, you're the most amazing son in the whole world. You're so accomplished. I love you so much. And they're going to say, oh, and you're my daughter. Wow, I love that you're not married and you're 30 years old. No. Your expectations should be, they are going to be the same parents that have always been your parents. So just be ready for it, because no matter what, if your expectations are not that high, you are going to be so happy that it's working out well. So P, positivity, right? E, expectations, right? S. So S is really for couples, for family. S is for everybody. It's really for all of us. S is you have to always respect, or we have to always respect, that no matter how much we love somebody, if I'm in a relationship with somebody and I am crazy about them and they're crazy about me, and we love being together every single second, like these two, we just love to be together every single second. You know what? For a good relationship, and I bet you they know it by now, because they're already married like more than a week. Once you're married more than a week, you know it. What's so important in a relationship? You need to have, yeah. You know what I mean? That's the other thing about Rage that I love so much. We really are family. Like, she's comfortable saying it because she trusts you. It's a trusting, safe environment. You're in a safe place. You know, so for that was it. Everybody needs their space. So if you're planning on doing the entire Pesach with your family, take into account that you need to have your space. And schedule it. S is for scheduling your space. Make sure you plan it in advance. Say to yourself, I know that for self-care, I know for preservation, I know for me to be okay, I need to do exactly what this brilliant woman said. I need to create a space for myself. And whatever that space means, if it means taking a long walk, if it means going for a run, if it means locking yourself up in a room and just reading a book, whatever, locking yourself up, whatever it means. But you need to take space for yourself. It is so incredibly important. Thank you, that was amazing. Okay, we didn't plan it. All right, so positivity, expectations, space. You need your space, right? Okay, what's the A?
Appreciation.
Get ready. So if we're going, I love that, okay? So tell me your name? Benny. If we're coming from a place of positivity, Benny said, you need to have appreciation. So I love that. Yeah, you need to have appreciation. You need to appreciate the fact that you have parents. You need to appreciate the fact that you're at a Pesach table. You need to appreciate, look what's going on in the world, right? We're lucky that we're safe. We're lucky that we have homes. We're lucky that our family is around us. How much do we need appreciation? We have so much to appreciate for. Today, the news is just so devastating. Rabbi Katzin is online all the time on Zooms with these people who have lost their homes, they've lost their money, they've lost everything. How much should we be appreciative for? The saddest story I know, the saddest one, I'm going to tell it to you because I think Betty is really right. We really need to have appreciation. The saddest story I know is about Hatzalah guys who were standing on the border of Ukraine for the women to come across with their little tiny babies. The women from Ukraine, these young women, 25 years old, 30, all their husbands were taken away into the army. And they're alone. They're alone with their babies. They're alone without a husband. They're alone. So everybody thought, oh, they'll come out of Ukraine. We're going to wait there at the border. They're going to come across the border with their babies. We'll take care of them. Guess what happened? They were standing there. All the Hatzalah guys are standing there with the blankets, warm blankets. They're standing there. All the women needed to do, how hard their life is. All they needed to do was to come across the border. They could have had the blankets. They could have had the safety of the Hatzalah guys. As they were about to cross over the border with their little babies, without blankets, freezing cold, their homes are gone. Their husbands are in the army. Do you know what they did? They got to the border. They looked on the other side. They saw people they don't know. They got afraid. They turned around and they went back into Ukraine with their little babies because they were terrified and they thought, oh, if we stay in Ukraine, maybe my husband will come back from the army. Maybe I'll have my husband. If I cross over the border, I'm alone. Are you going to take care of me? You don't know me. Maybe you'll say it's okay. Maybe you'll take care of me for a day, a week. But no one's going to take care of me like my family. No one's going to take care of me like my husband. And Hatzalah guys had to watch these women with the babies turn around and go back. Do we not have what to appreciate? We should really appreciate. So then I thank you for the A, appreciation, but it wasn't my A. But it was a good one. So my A is something that we all deal with. My A is that anger. I really want to talk about that for a minute. Very touchy topic. Anger is a very scary thing, but let's be real, okay? If you're going home and you're going to your family, and even if you're not going home and you're just going to be with your loved one and get a little space, it's hard. And anger is easily triggered. A, the meal is very, very late. So we all know you get a lot of stress from being hungry. There's something called hangry. Angry and hungry. Hangry. And that creates a lot of stress. So anger is there. So I want to give you advice. What do you do if you're there and you're feeling very angry? You're angry. You're angry about what your father said. Oh, that was a horrible insult. How could you say that to me? You're angry your mother insulted you. Oh, wow, honey, you gained weight. You don't look really good. That's not what you want. If you were in Dr. Faye's house, she'd be telling you how gorgeous you are. And here you are listening to somebody tell you that you're fat. So anger is easily triggered when we're at home with our parents. It's just so easy. It's what happens. So I'm going to give you advice about anger. I'm going to tell you how to disarm the anger. But anger is literally like guns coming at you. How do you disarm the anger? You disarm the anger. Anybody? You disarm the anger by not hearing it. By just letting it go. It's a little amount of time there. You're in this situation for not that long, 48 hours, maybe, if that long. The only way to get over anger is by letting it go. If you're in a situation with a long-term relationship and they're abusing you and you're in a horrible relationship, of course, then we talk about that. We'll talk about that other weeks, about what you do when somebody has real anger issues, which of course Russians don't have. Maybe just a little bit. But in terms of this, in terms of our Seder, in terms of the actual Pesach, my only advice in terms of anger is to disarm it. Disarm it by letting it go. Don't come back at the person. It's not worth it because it just escalates. So the most important thing to do is let it go, because within 48 hours, you're going to be back at your house, back in your apartment. You'll be doing whatever it is you want to do, and you just need to get through it. That's A. I like Benny's appreciation, but let's deal with reality also with anger. Okay. C is change. C is for change. The reality is knowing that when you go back to your family, then you suddenly become the Brady Bunch or the Partridge Family or some, right? They just won't. They are the same family that you grew up with. Change, you can change. A very interesting thing. We did a whole Shabbaton this week with a bunch of couples. And what we found is that the only way to make change happen is only one way. For me to change. If I change, things will change. But for me to say, oh, he'll change, she'll change, no. The only one that can make it change is me. Now, if you're interested in taking a change upon yourself before you go into your Pesach holiday, if you want to make a change on yourself, whoa, that is great. And if you want to call me to help you with it, I'm happy to do it. The reality is that we don't change unless we really work on it. And again, I would think that that's going to be one of our topics for our Tuesday night programs. Tuesday night? I'm not sure. Thursday night? Something. Okay. So I did P, positivity. E, I'm going to test you in a minute. Expectations.
Space.
Space.
S, space. A, appreciation.
Or.
Dealing with anger, right? Good. C, change. Change will only come from you. And H, of course, I'm here representing Rage, which is a place that is trying to help you with your relationships. That's why Dr. Faye is here. But most importantly, with your relationship with H, Hashem, So I give you all an amazing bracha. I hope you have an incredible Pesach. I hope we all live in love and continue to love and learn to live in love and make changes in our lives, all of us, all the time. And that's my speech. Question? We're good. Open. P, positivity. E, expectation. S, space. A, appreciation. R, anger. C, change. H is thank you, Hashem. Good, it works, right? Good. Thank you, Rabbi Hitzin. Thank you, Rebecca.
Is going to be offering a program once a week online. Are we going to do after Then we have a program. So Faye also, there's this beautiful place called. You want to just say a word?
April 28th, Dr. Steve.
Oh, so yes, I'll tell you right now. We created a house in memory of my husband, Shlomo Eliezer ben Harav Zakhar. A lot of you have been there already. It's an incredible house. There's stuff going on there that's great. There's a Sunday morning program, a breakfast program. There's a Tuesday night amazing program where I have started to learn how to make brachot, which is real. Interestingly, I went to yeshiva. I was born from the beginning. I learned yeshiva stuff. I am really learning my stuff now, much more. Thank you, Susanna. Yes, I am really learning what it means to make blessings. We have a rabbi called Rabbi Yaakov. He is incredible. I am learning stuff that I've never learned in my life, and I'm loving it. So that's on Tuesday nights. And now what we're thinking about doing, or what we are doing, is on Thursday nights, this party that we're having over here, we're planning on doing on Thursday nights over there. And Thursday night, August the 28th, right? Correct? April, not August. April the 28th, Rabbi Abrahamov is coming to Beis Shlomo and speaking over there. So we will welcome him all together, and that's it. We're really very excited.
And Sunday morning, you said?
This Sunday morning we're on?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, great. Sunday morning we're on. It's breakfast, lunch, or brunch. Rabbi Dov Ber Cohn from Eish HaTorah is amazing, and he's talking very good stuff.
Every Sunday, praise. I think Shlomo here speaks to a rabbi from Asia, and Rabbi Dov Ber Cohn.
Yeah.
So you can join there.
Thursday night for Rabbi Abrahamov is men and women together. Yeah.
Amazing. So we're going to let you guys know. Also, if anybody is interested, I need a few volunteers to drop off packages to the elderly for Pesach. So if anybody wants to go or can go with a friend who drives, just a few packages, let me know. Come on speak before the end of tonight with more details. And again, thank you so much, Dr. Faye.
My honor.
Such a nice treat. We do this about once a month.
Yeah, thank you.
And welcome to Manhattan Beach. We hope to see you again. And then we'll see you in Flatbush also.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Guys, you don't have to leave. We're sliding out. I'm going to put the music back on.